The Pope's Exorcist, Russell Crowe starring in horror movie. Julius Avery, the director of 2018's Overlord, is heading back into the horror genre with The Pope's Exorcist, and the Wrap reports this afternoon that Russell Crowe will star. From Sony's Screen Gems, The Pope's Exorcist is based on real-life exorcist Father Gabriele Amorth, the legendary Italian priest who performed over 100,000 exorcisms for the Vatican. Evan Spiliotopoulos wrote the current draft with revisions by Chuck McLean, based on Michael Petroni-revised original drafts by Chester Hastings and Dean McCreary. Angel Gomez, Voices, had previously been attached to direct the movie for Screen Gems, who recently acquired the rights to Father Gabriele Amorth's real-life exorcism tales. The Exorcist director William Friedkin told Father Gabriele Amorth's story in the recent documentary The Devil and Father Amorth, which you can find on various VOD outlets. Father Gabriele Amorth passed away back in 2016 at the age of 91. Hocus Pocus 2, teaser trailer. The Sanderson sisters return. Some legends never die. The witches are back in Hocus Pocus 2 this Halloween season, the long-awaited sequel to the Halloween classic coming to Disney Plus on September 30, 2022. Watch the first official Hocus Pocus 2 teaser trailer below. The teaser takes us back to Salem, Massachusetts to introduce a new group of characters who end up resurrecting the Sanderson sisters, who have been lying in wait all these years. Lock up your children. Salem, we're back, the sisters proclaim towards the end of this first Hocus Pocus 2 teaser, which also teases the return of Billy Butcherson and of course, a black cat. The film is being billed as the spooky sequel to the 1993 Halloween classic, with Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy all back as the beloved Sanderson sisters. It's been 29 years since someone lit the black flame candle and resurrected the 17th century sisters who were executed for practicing witchcraft, and they are looking for revenge. Now it is up to 3 high school students to figure out how to stop the ravenous witches from wreaking a new kind of havoc on Salem before midnight on All Hallows Eve. Anne Fletcher, the guilt trip, is directing the movie, and the cast also includes Doug Jones as Billy Butcherson, a fan-favorite character from the original 1993 movie. Joining them are Whitney Peak, Gossip Girl, Molly's Game, as Becca, Lilia Buckingham, Dirt, Crown Lake, as Cassie, and Belissa Escobedo, American Horror Stories, The Baker and the Beauty, as Izzy, 3 young women in present-day Salem who incite the wrath of the 3 witches. Sam Richardson, Werewolves Within, will also star. Arrested Development favorite Tony Hale and Ted Lasso actress Hannah Waddingham have also both landed roles with Froe Gutierrez, Juju Brenner, Taylor Paige Henderson, and Nina Kitchen. The Kenny Ortega-directed 1993 movie starred Omri Katz as a curious youngster who moves to Salem, Massachusetts, where he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, that were executed in the 17th century. The film also starred Thora Birch, who will not return for the sequel, unfortunately. Jen D'Angelo, Workaholics, wrote the sequel script. Next Exit, supernatural drama ponders life's meaning on road trip toward death. Writer, director Marley Elfman's directorial feature debut sets its story after the world has finally solved one of its most elusive questions: is there life after death? Next Exit answers that question straight away by introducing a society that's widely embraced the presence of ghosts, especially those of loved ones. But not all hauntings are welcome, and Elfman's supernatural drama uses life after death as a springboard for a rumination on life and past traumas via a heartfelt road trip movie. Strangers Rose, Katie Parker, Absentia, The Haunting of Bly Manor, and Teddy, Rahul Kohli, Midnight Mass, meet at a car rental place. Both planned a long drive from New York to San Francisco for appointments with Dr. Stevenson, Karen Gillan, and her revolutionary scientific study Life Beyond. In it, Dr. Stevenson helps volunteers commit pain-free suicide so she can study the afterlife and how ghosts interact with the mortal plane. Rose and Teddy couldn't be further apart in personality and motivations, but traveling together over what's to be their final days forges deep bonds as they confront the pasts that haunt them. Elfman casts this world of ghosts in washed-out lighting. It's a wintry road trip for Rose and Teddy, but the cold is as internal as it is external. It parallels the slow thawing between the pair. What begins as a caustic, tenuous partnership by necessity evolves into something far more complex and endearing. The supernatural element is merely peripheral and supplemental to Elfman's character-driven dramedy. The ghosts occasionally scare, but this is a narrative about the living. That's more prevalent with Rose, an abrasive and guarded character still very much tormented by literal ghosts from her past. Opposite her is the more light-hearted and listless Teddy, with very different reasons for this life beyond appointment. Rose and Teddy frequently bicker and clash until various scenarios and encounters along the route lead to common ground and appreciation. It's a romantic comedy scenario shrouded by the afterlife and suicide ideations. Parker and Coley again demonstrate effortless charisma that imbues rooting interest from the outset. Next Exit may present a world with a definitive afterlife, but it's not interested in exploring any answers. As Rose and Teddy encounter suicidal hitchhikers, PTSD-afflicted veterans, and uplifting priests that alter their perceptions, Elfman seeks to underscore that no one knows what they're doing or holds life's secrets. The filmmaker is more interested in how that intimately affects her lead characters. As broad and shallow as that can be, Parker and Coley bring complexity and an infectious charm to their characters that invest you regardless. You wind up caring about Rose and Teddy even if they don't seem to care about themselves. Despite the bleak premise, Next Exit aims to instill hope. It's not just the cast that's reminiscent of Mike Flanagan's works, but the ponderous monologues and reflections on life framed through the supernatural. It's a charming dramedy that pairs back scale and style. It never gets too heady or deep with its musings either, and the pacing can sag because of it. Instead, Next Exit is a loose, horror-adjacent showcase for Parker and Coley's talents. Forget about the afterlife, their winsome performances and chemistry will leave you wondering why they aren't more prominent stars. Attachment romance gets complicated by family tradition and possession. A meet-cute and whirlwind romance gets complicated by overbearing parents, and clashing religions make for a familiar setup to the romantic comedy. Writer, director Gabriel Big Islason reinvigorates the concept by framing it through the lens of horror in attachment. It's not just an overbearing mother and Orthodox Judaism presenting roadblocks to budding love, but an ambiguous and eerie problem of possession. Has-been Danish actress Maya, Josephine Park, bumps into the younger Jewish academic Leah, Ellie Kendrick, Game of Thrones, at a library, where Maya's late to entertain children as her former popular Christmas TV character. Though chaotic, sparks fly between the pair. They fall fast for each other, but Leah soon suffers a seizure that results in an injury and prompts a return home to London. Maya, fearing her relationship will get cut short, chooses to accompany Leah. There she meets Leah's overbearing mother, Chana, Sophie Gi with ring above BL, who lives in the downstairs flat. Not only is Chana unwelcoming and abrasive, but her volatile relationship with Leah's uncle, David Densick, hints at dark family secrets. It's only the tip of the iceberg. Strange behaviors and unsettling experiences of relationship interference might extend to the supernatural, with Leah harboring the biggest secret of all. Gislason carefully layers in the world-building obstacles between Maya and Leah, taking care to instill rooting interest in this romance despite the core protagonists not knowing much about one another. It's not just the relationship that's new for Maya, but Leah's Jewish background. It makes Maya's role trickier in trying to learn family traditions and win over the aloof Chana while attempting to understand Leah's strange nightly behaviors. Conversely, Leah knows her family better than her love interest, Therefore, she is far more dismissive of Maya's concerns. Gislason uses the normalcy of early relationship woes as a foundation for horror allegory. The friction between Chana, Maya, and Leah breeds tension and conflict. It sets up a supernaturally charged metaphor for codependency. Leah and Chana need each other, but which one is more parasitic than the other? Is it all in Maya's head as the one unwitting driving a wedge between mother and daughter? The filmmaker succeeds in presenting complex dynamics and love obstacles before even weaving in the dibbock. As things grow tenser for the characters, so, too, does the horror. Gislason layers the terror with methodical precision. Leah's seizures start as unsettling but benign, but symptoms increase with regularity and palpable dread. Before long, it becomes clear a far more malevolent presence has entered the equation, bringing many chilling moments that showcase Kendrick's talent for toggling emotions and personas with ease. Framing much of the story through Maya's perspective prolongs the truths in a fascinating, enigmatic way that adds an unpredictable quality. Once the pieces do click in place, however, attachment falls prey to the familiar possession formula. A too-tidy climactic conclusion diminishes its emotional impact and wraps up this messy relationship triangle with ease. It deflates so much pent-up and well-earned tension. Engaging performances, a unique and dread-soaked world, and a flair for spooky horror grounded in realism set attachment apart. The horror allegory for codependency told through Orthodox Judaism reinvigorates an off-stale subgenre, even though Gislason's simple resolution can't avoid possession pitfalls by the journey's end.